Hello my predator and prey friends, Officer Judy Hopps here reporting for duty. I'm really proud of this costume and cosplay. I feel like I did an awesome job. So how did I make it? So I decided to go for a short gray wig. A lot of people choose longer gray wigs and do like the braids, but I was like, you know what, I feel like Judy would have short hair. These are actual like Zootopia ears, but you can also make your own ears, but I just didn't really feel like trying to do that. That looked like the most difficult thing that you could make. I was like, you know what, I could just buy a rabbit ear headband. You got the wristbands, which I feel like turned out surprisingly well. I used black felt and I cut out 2 wrist shapes based on a pattern that I found from a cosplayer called Firecloak. She had a really great pattern, and I'm gonna link to her website down in the description because her cosplay of Judy Hopps has really helped me make my cosplay. But essentially you just cut out the 2 pieces, and then I found some awesome silver thin duct tape that I was able to make the kind of reflector pads here, or strips. And then I also put little Velcro squares on the inside so that I could strap them onto my wrists and make them easy on and off. The vest is probably the most complicated thing to make, and I'm kind of impressed that it actually is on me and fits me and it's not falling off, but I did it, yay! I couldn't find any real good tutorial to make the vest other than the pattern that Firecloak had and then some kind of like pictures that I pieced together of it, but there was no like video or anything, and I didn't really make anything much better because I kind of didn't film a lot of the pieces while making it because I sort of messed up a whole bunch and was fearful of messing up, and I was like, I don't want to show this on video, this is a wreck. But essentially what you do is I used 5mm craft foam that I got at Michael's, and I cut out the pattern that Firecloak had. And it's got these great slits in it so that you can essentially put it together and it will be more form-fitting for your body, which I was really happy about that because this makes it fit my boobies. The front piece has that pattern. The back piece though really doesn't, so once I had made the front piece, I essentially like put the front part of the vest on top of another piece of craft foam and kind of traced out what I thought a back should look like. And the same thing went for the straps, where I just kind of made like about 1.5 inches wide rectangular strip. They were a little bit too long in the beginning, and then I cut them down as I kind of tried it on and made sure that it fit me. The front piece, you have to glue or tape all those little slits together so that you get the nice kind of form of a human being. Firecloak used super glue, and I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to do that. So I just used duct tape instead, and it pretty much worked for everything that I needed it to. Then comes the wrapping of the craft foam in a nice leathery looking fabric that I got at Joann's. I started out using fabric glue and found that didn't stick. So then I thought I would use hot glue, and that kind of stuck in some places and not in others. And then eventually I went to using super glue on the most important places, like the connecting the straps. I originally did it with hot glue and they immediately came off, so I was like, well, all right, let's try super glue. And in the process I got like super glue all over my hands and it was awful. I was really upset a few times, and so I'm glad I wasn't filming those parts. But surprisingly enough, I feel like it came out pretty well for not having any idea of what I was doing. And then to attach the front and back of the vest, once it was on me, I put Velcro pieces because I didn't actually see anything online of how do you attach the 2 pieces together. But the Velcro worked really well. You just have to make sure that the vest is large enough that you can have kind of like an overlay of the front and back pieces together, you know, like about 1/2 inch or something. For the ZPD badge, I considered buying one online, but I decided that it'd be more fun to make it, and so I made it out of craft foam, which I saw some people using like Sculpey or some kind of clay, but I feel like that was gonna be too heavy, and so I felt like the craft foam really did what I wanted. So essentially I found kind of a ZPD image online, printed it out, and then cut it out and then traced the pieces that I would need to cut onto craft foam. So I cut all those pieces and then painted everything gold, and then painted the very center of it blue so that when you put everything together, you would have blue beneath the gold star. Then I glued it together, and I decided to use super glue because I'd gotten all, hey, I can use super glue now. And that is where I totally got super glue everywhere, and it was a mess. But it sticks together really well now, so maybe don't use super glue on craft foam. You don't really need to. You could probably get away with like hot glue but it does work. And then once everything had dried, I went back to that reference photo of the badge and got a thin Sharpie marker to draw in all the wording on it, and now it looks like an awesome badge. And then I went ahead and attached it to the vest. Then of course there are the knee pads, and I saw lots of things online where people were like making the shape of the knee pad in craft foam and like doing an elastic around your knee, and I liked those, but I decided I wanted something a little more intense, so I found these actual like knee pads, foam knee pads online on Amazon. I'll put the link down below. And then I got some silver fabric paint and just painted where the over the knee pad, so it will be silver and look like it's supposed to. And for the belt is very important. I did not feel like making it, so I just went online and found a pretty decently priced tactical belt, because I was like, you know what, Parker, you can have this afterward. I'm sure you can find some use for this belt. There's the tail, which is super cute, and I made that by getting gray fur and some white fur at, not real fur, obviously. I got those fur fabrics at Joann's Fabric and then cut out two kind of tail-shaped pieces, with the white piece being like wider and a little bit shorter than the gray piece. So you sew those two pieces inside out together and then leave a little opening, flip it inside out and stuff some polyfill into there, and sew the rest of it back up, and then put a giant safety pin on there to pin it to the back of your pants, and you got the cutest little tail. And finally, the carrot pen. So I made it all out of Model Magic. You essentially make a carrot-shaped piece and then slice it down the middle and put an actual pen inside so that you can really write with it. If you look at pictures online, you'll see that there are 3 buttons and then the kind of little speaker area. So you just want to like draw all these on with, or cut them out of the Model Magic essentially, and then there's 3 kind of like rounded cuts at the bottom. And then you cut out 3 kind of thinner carrot-shaped pieces and put them all together, make like a fun little tree out of them, and then attach them at the top of the carrots. Now this was the only scary part, because it broke off at one point. I was like, no, what am I gonna do? Then I painted the carrot part orange and the top of the carrot green. I like mixed my paints. I didn't have any orange paint. I used red and yellow to mix it, but I might actually suggest getting a real orange rather than mixing, because it does require multiple coats in order to make it the consistency of paint that you want. And when you're mixing, you might not always get the exact same mix. So it took me a little while to make mine exactly the way I wanted it. But now I've got my awesome pen and I'm an awesome Judy Hopps. So yeah, guys, here's my Judy Hopps. I'm really excited about this costume. I love when I make things and they come out really well, because sometimes I have these ideas and I start doing them and then they don't turn out as well. But if nothing else, I just kind of want to wear this great wig around everywhere because it's so much fun. So what do you guys think? What were you for Halloween, or what's a cosplay that you were really excited and proud of doing? Tell me down in the comments, and remember to like, favorite, share, and subscribe if this video made you smile. See you guys on Tuesday.